Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's cryptocurrency trivia session. We have a few questions for you today. The last few are fill in the blank to keep things exciting. You can join the game by going to kahoot.it with the game pin 9148893. Make sure you join with your Reddit username if you would like credit. We're going to start, of course, a few minutes from now just to give everyone time to join. But thanks for coming here. Invite your friends. And also, of course, have a fun time. We have a few more people joining us. Make sure you join with your Reddit username if you would like credit on the cryptocurrency subreddit. We will assign a special flare if you finish in the top 3. So that's a tiny incentive we can offer from our perspective. We have a few users that come most weeks and do pretty good at defeating a lot of the competition just because they're used to performing in this trivia session. If you have not participated before in the cryptocurrency trivia session yet, you will need a constant view of the live stream. You can join with your phone. There is about a 5-ish second delay, so make sure you are aware of that answer as you're answering questions. You get points by answering correctly, of course, but you also get additional points if you answer quickly and if you answer multiple questions in a row. So just be ready for that. You can join by going to kahoot.it with the game pin 9148893. The information is at the top of the screen here. During the game, it will be in the lower left if people want to join later. It's also, this joining information is also in the chat. So if you would like to participate, you can also look there, participate in the chat. I will read it as we're going along too. If you have comments on the questions on the questions or anything else, and the like. So we're gonna start in, of course, a few minutes here. It's still early, so you can reserve your spot early ahead of time, and I'd like to thank you for being here. Okay, we have 5 people that are watching, but no one's joined yet. What's up with that? Get out your phones and join. You got this. That's only 12 questions, I believe. Most of them are multiple choice. And the last ones require you only to enter numbers. So not too bad on this. The last few questions are worth 2,000 points each. So it really is anybody's game until the very, very end. Welcome, I Love BBC. It's great to have you on here. What is your favorite BBC show? You should leave one, a comment in the chat if you're available on YouTube. Or, of course, if you would like credit on the CryptoCurrency subreddit special flare, you can rejoin with your Reddit username. Otherwise, you're just playing for fun, which is great to see, but it's also fun to sort of flex on people in the CryptoCurrency sub because you have a special player and they don't. Up to you, though, of course. Thank you, Jim, for joining us. It's great to have two people competing here. It's not just going to be one person answering questions, luckily, but hopefully we have a few more people that stream in. They usually stream in a bit late. That's just the way everything works. So, yeah, we'll get started in a few. We have more people watching now, so hopefully they keep joining in. We have Jim and I Love BBC here. Remember, join with your Reddit username if you would like credit. You don't need to, but you can. It's an option that I'm providing as an additional incentive to participate every week. If not, again, totally cool. It's up to you. Enjoy this lovely music in the background. Still have two people. We're only going to give it about 2 more minutes before we start, and then everyone who's watching will be at a disadvantage if they join later. So hopefully we get a few more. I mean, just remember this, I would say. There's a podium finish. There's 3 spots on the podium finish. So if you join now and no one else does, and you answer at least one multiple choice question correct, you are guaranteed to get a special flare. So how about that? Okay, just 1 more minute here, last call, and we will get started. Thank you for your patience. Jim and I Love BBC. Oh, I Love BBC popped out. It's just Jim. You know, if it is just you, Jim, you are going to have a great set of questions here to complete. Again, there's a podium finish for 3 people, so if you join now, there's a really good chance that you're going to get a special flare and you're going to be a champion of some capacity. So this is your chance. All right, Jim, out of respect for you, it looks like you are just the only person that is playing, so thank you for joining. This is all your custom quiz this week. Let's see how you do. People can still join using the code that will be in the lower left-hand corner. At the moment, it's at the top of the screen, kahoot.it, gamepin 9148893. So other people can still join and challenge you partially through, but if you're the only person starting off, and you have a really strong advantage. Thank you for being here on time. Thank you for waiting. But I think we've waited long enough. Let's get this started here. All right, first question. 12 questions total. The last 2 are fill in the blank, worth double points. Question 1. What DeFi project encountered 2 attacks last week? Was it Compound, Definer, BZX, or Dharma? All right, one person, you got this. Correct answer there, right out of the blue. Obviously, it was not Compound, Definer, or Dharma. It was BZX. Okay, I think the next question is related to Jim on the board, 930 points there. Good job, you answered very quickly. Okay, and of course, there's 5 people watching now, so you can still join Game Pin and URL in the lower left-hand corner there. Someone has only gotten 1 question correct. So although Jim seems to be a superstar here, it looks like, other people can still participate, of course. Okay, next question. Question 2. What was one major reason to blame for the second attack success of BZ? Was it bad pricing data, exchange downtime, unaudited code, or network latency? Bad pricing data, also correct. The code actually was audited, at least to a large extent, to my understanding. So just because someone has looked at it does not mean that there are no flaws with it. For example, if you hired me to audit the code, I do not know anything about how it should work properly or what to look for, so my audit would be completely useless. And there were some people that pointed out flaws before, but of course that does not mean that they know of every flaw. So as a result, just because something is audited does not mean it's without flaws, although audits are critical at helping reduce flaws. However, of course, in this case, that was not enough. Bad pricing data is one major reason to blame for the second attack success, because the attacker was able to manipulate the spot price of a specific market that was pulled in, and therefore was able to effectively leverage their position much, much more than they should have, just because they made a really, really short-term trade. Okay, next question. Actually, before that, Jim, of course, still on the leaderboard, 1930, killing it, apparently like always. Third question here. Enigma settled with the SEC for how much money? Was it $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, or $500,000? $500,000, also correct. Jim you're really good at this game. All right, we can just proceed. Jim is on fire, of course. Next question here. Question 4. Which network has prohibited value transactions for the past week? Is it Nano, IOTA, Ethereum, or Chainlink? IOTA. Wow, we might have our first perfect score. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next few rounds here, but really setting themselves up for success here. Yes, last week, if you participated, which apparently no one did, we did have a question on how IOTA's network was down for several hours, and by their network being down, I mean that they prohibit value transactions on the network. So effectively, it's down in the way you think of it. And it still is down a week later because there was a flaw in one of the dependencies of their Trinity wallet, and as a result, there are reports of many users who have had funds stolen, and so they're looking into ways to sort of reverse their transactions ever. Yeah, Daniel in chat saying here, I wish I had some competition to crush. Yeah, I wish you had some competition to crush too. I'm feeling you. I make these every week. I'd love for more people to be able to participate on them. As much as I love doing it for one really enthusiastic person who just knows a lot of the answers, I'd love to have more people participating. So, it is what it is, but I hope you're having fun anyway. All right, next, Jim, 4,315 points, 4 correct. I don't think we even need to reiterate this with only one person anymore. So question 5, Coinbase became a principal member of which payment processing company? Is it Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover? Oh, looks like we had someone else join. One answer in. Okay, both people got it correct. There you go. Daniel, Tim, or whatever, you now have some competition who's on the board. Visa is the correct answer here. It's not MasterCard or Amex or Discover. So thank you, Emoji, for making their way on the board. It's great to see you. I don't think that's your Reddit username, but I appreciate you being on here. Of course, let's see if you're able to catch up. Theoretically, you still can, because the last 2 questions are each worth 2,000 points each. So it still is actually anybody's game, even though Jim was here on time and has a quite healthy lead at this point. Okay, question 6. Nebulous released what decentralized SIA CDN in production this week? Is it SWS, Skynet, Starlink, or SIA CDN? Oh, no one got this one correct. Haha, still is anybody's game. Yes, they call it Skynet. SWS is something I made up completely instead of like AWS. I thought maybe like SIA web services or something. I don't know. I made it up. It doesn't exist. Starlink is, of course, the thing that some moon entrepreneur that is behind Tesla is doing. And then SIA CDN is also something else that I just totally made up. Yes, they did actually call it Skynet, Daniel, based off some previous interesting uses of the word Skynet, but that's what they went with. So if you search Skynet, it might not be the main result right now. Not CDN. Okay, so neither person got that one correct. So that answer streak is reset. So now it is easier for pinchy runner-up to be able to make their way up. Jim has less of an advantage going into the future rounds because they don't have a built-up bonus streak here. Okay, so it is actually anybody's game. Question 7. What is the name of the Monero feature that enables payment through a mining API? Is it RPC Pay, RandomX, CryptoNote Pay, or Casisto? No one got this one correct either. RandomX is the name of their mining algorithm, but it is not the feature that enables payment through an RPC payment system, hence the name RPC Pay. CryptoNote Pay makes no sense. I'm glad no one chose that one. And Consisto, I wonder if the person who got this correct either knew this or it was a blind guess, but Casisto was the name of an in-development payment processor for some time. I mean, the code is still on GitHub, but no, it is not a mining API. Monero Outreach team made a blog post on RPC Pay. So if you're interested in that, you can look that up, but that is the best answer in this case. Even though RandomX is the name of the mining algorithm, it's not really a payment through mining API system. All right, so no one got that one correct. Leaderboard is exactly the same. Next question here. 8. Chainalysis found that about what proportion of funds mixed are from other mixers, stolen funds, and darknet markets? Is it 8%, 37%, 58%, or 72%? So again, of the proportion of funds that are mixed, what percent come from all three of these categories? Mixers, stolen funds, and darknet markets combined. No one got this one correct either. It is 37%. Of the three categories, mixers is the highest proportion, so there might be some what I'm going to call layered exposure, so to speak. So you mix with coins that are attributed to mixing that are also attributed to other things. So sometimes it's hard to pinpoint at what layer you're sort of looking at. But according to them, 37%. This is from a webinar, I believe, late last year. So it's pretty relevant. Although stolen funds were actually the second highest proportion of these three categories. So 37, the best answer. It looks like people here thought mixing was a little bit more dangerous than it is. And to be clear, I'm not suggesting that mixing will mean your coins will be untainted. Likely they will be tainted, but 37% is the answer according to them, and it still is a pretty high number considering if you're going through several mixing rounds, the likelihood you're going to touch stolen funds, for example, is pretty likely. Okay, next question is related, so be prepared for another Chainalysis question here. All right, let's go. Leaderboard, again, exactly the same. Jim really had a great few first 5 or 6 rounds, and then apparently Chainalysis came around, and a few other questions came along, and I've been struggling to get more points here. Okay, question 9, also Chainalysis. They found about what proportion of funds mixed are from coin generation. These are Coinbase outputs or mining. Is it 0.2%, 8.6%, 12.4%, or 24.2%? I tried to space these out enough so that hopefully one person got that one correct. Yes. Can someone guess why, or put a hypothesis for why, if you have fresh, clean coins with no previous history, why you would pay money in order to mix them? Apparently 0.2% of people do, according to Chainalysis, but that is an incredibly small number. In fact, there are some people that claim in certain OTC markets Coinbase funds, so brand new, untainted, fresh coins, sell for a premium. If you're going to be mixing them with, a lot of other mess, you're going to be losing value just as the way it works. So it is a really small percentage, 0.2%. The person who gets the lowest number there was correct. 12.4% would be a really, really high percent for miners mixing funds, because why would they? They're supposed to run a business that is very low margin, ideally, if network security is good. And so it should be like nobody should want to waste money mixing, because that just destroys the bottom line. In any case, Jim got that one correct, so they're back working their way up in the leaderboard with 6,555 points. Good job, Jim. Question 10, the last multiple choice. In the long term, Bitcoin is which of the following? Is it inflationary, disinflationary, deflationary, or when moon? Hint, it's not when moon. Just putting that out there. It's one of the three others. Deflationary is the correct answer. Now, the reason this is the case, it looks so one person said disinflationary, other said deflationary. Inflationary means that there's an increasing number of coins that are generated, basically. Disinflationary refers to like a set, let's say a set gross value, but it does not mean like if one new Bitcoin was generated every block, let's say, the percent at which the percent inflation over time will decrease, because there's a greater total number of coins. So as a result, the percent of new coins that are emitted to the total percent of total coins is lower. So that's disinflationary. You have assets like Grin and Monero that have tail emissions that are set at fixed values. They do not go to zero. However, they're still producing new coins. That's why they're considered disinflationary. Deflationary means that the percent emittance decreases. So in Bitcoin's case, right, you go to about 21 million and then you're done. No new coins are generated ever. And so when people lose coins, when they lose circulation for any number of reasons, you can consider it deflationary. It starts at like around 0%, right, and will actually decrease in effect. Okay, so someone's saying they misunderstood the question. Sorry there, Daniel, Tim. That's the way it works. So inflationary, increasing percent, basically. Disinflationary, decreasing percent, but still a positive percent. Deflationary is, a 0 or negative percent. When moon, of course, is a meme. So someone's catching up. There's 4,000 points still up for grabs here. So theoretically, in the last two questions, there can be a real big comeback here. Let's see what happens. So for the next two questions, they are fill in the blank. They're not select one of four options. You need to type in a number for the next two questions. So for the next two questions, do not type in anything other than numbers. They're all numbers. All right, here we go. Question 11, open-ended. Double points, like I said. In what year was Bitcoin's Genesis block mined? When did the Bitcoin blockchain first start? Type in your answer. Let's see what people say. Make sure you hit submit or whatever. All right, 2008 and 2009. The correct answer is 2009. It was January 3rd, 2009. So it was barely 2009, but it was 2009. Daniel said he typoed. Oh, goodness. Does that mean what I think it means? I think Jim still kind of has a bit of a. I think they're still going to be let off because of how people, pinchy fingers didn't answer immediately, but just quickly. So, I think Jim still has this, but next question will still be able to. It'll be interesting here. And again, this will be involve typing in a number. Question 12, open-ended again, double points. What is Bitcoin's block size in megabytes? To the nearest number. Only enter the number. Ooh, Someone said 4 megabytes. It is not 4 megabytes. It is 1 megabyte. So let's see what happens here. Leaderboard. Both of you finished on the podium, so we know what happened. Third place, none correct because I dropped out. I love BBC. You do not get to make your way out. 3 out of 12. Pinchy fingers. And first place was 6 out of 12. 5 of which were like the first 5 they answered. Jim. Google lied to you, Abdos. Sorry that Google lied to you. But if you go through, January 3rd was the time when the Genesis block started. Bitcoin, the white paper and most of the other information on Bitcoin came out in 2008. So if you guessed 2008, Google lied to you in size. You know what? You might have stumbled across some like Bitcoin Cash thing. There were some proposals to increase the block size, but it was actually kept at 1 megabyte. In fact, one of the recent attempts was to try to double it to 2, and that did not go through on the network. So, thank you, Jim / Daniel. Thank you, Abdos / Pinchy Fingers, and thank you, I Love BBC, for showing up just to get on the leaderboard despite not answering a single question. I hope you come back next week for trivia. We do this every week, and thanks for your time tonight.